Morning, everybody. Someone on YouTube yesterday, I believe it was, commented that my video series should be titled Clark Unplugged. And then in quotes, they said, look over your shoulder. Because of the plug there on the wall. I loved it. We'll bring back MTV Unplugged, but instead it'll be Clark Unplugged, sharing details of his life. So here's the next entry in the Clark Unplugged series. So good morning, everybody. And the clicker yesterday did not work good at the end. And it's got a big button for iPhones and then a little button for Android. And I'm sitting here this morning using the iPhone button. I have an Android and it's working on, off, on, off, on, off. So we're going to try the iPhone button on this at the end here and see what happens. So, can we just admit that most of us are lazy? And you're saying to yourself right now, I work all day long and then I got kids practices and kids games and cooking and cleaning the house. Distractions. Those are outside world distractions from working on yourself. We are lazy towards working on ourselves. We are complacent. We stay busy. Some of us stay busy. Some of us, not so much. But we don't want to do any of the hard work on ourselves. I've had to do that hard work. I started with the hard work, locked up in prison, with a life sentence squeezing me every day. 30 to life, 30 to life, 30 to life. It's like a 1,000-pound weight on your back. 30 to life, 30 to life. In my first year, I caved into that 30 to life. I gained those 62 pounds I've told you about. And then that second year, after reading that quote, in Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning, when faced with an intolerable situation that will not change, you are challenged to change yourself. And I challenged myself to change. Whether I was doing 10, 20, 30 years or the 5 years that I got. And I challenged myself. I had no life coach. I had no accountability partner. It was me. In my darkness, it was me trying to find a way to heal from childhood sexual abuse. It was me trying to develop self-discipline. It was me mending a fence with God, who I went through life angry with. The childhood version of our faith is like so much different than the adult version if you'll let it back into your life. Childhood version is just like a finger wagging, do this, do that, stay in this lane, stay in that boundary, stay there, do this thing, do that thing, do that. It's just come back. People want to talk about forgiveness all the time. Forgive God, forgive your higher power, develop some sort of relationship with a higher power. Pray gratitude every day. Just stop thinking you're the highest thing in the universe, the greatest thing. Think that there's something greater and give thanks every day. It just settles you, calms you, gives you peace. To just pray thanks for a new day. Gratitude that I'm alive. Thankful that my loved ones are safe. Knowing that we have free will and that at any moment something horrible could happen to any one of us, that we're not puppets on a string. And just give it a shot, It'll change your being. So I had to develop faith on my own. And I got sober on my own. My first 2 years locked up, I idolized a glass of red wine and a big fat line of cocaine. To me, those two just went perfect together. Perfect. Red wine and white cocaine. Yum, yum. And for those first 2 years locked up, they say it takes the brain, 24 plus months to develop new neural pathways for the addiction cravings that it had set up, wanting that chemical response in me. And it took a while. It took me 2 years. And at the end, like sometime in my third year locked up, like it was like, I got to be out of my cotton picking mind if I want to go back to doing cocaine and red wine again. Look where I'm at right now. Look what I'm faced with. I'm faced with life in prison because of not making a coherent decision because I was all messed up. And I'm idolizing going back to that. So I had to work on all of these things on my own. I had no accountability partner. I had no coach. And I have given hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people around the world who have reached out to me. I've typed out these long-winded messages of all those things I've done to take my life in a new direction because they've reached out asking me for help. Do you know how many people have reached back out to me and said, I've applied all the steps you took and my life is completely different? Zero. That's why I say we are lazy. We are complacent in our suffering. We are complacent in our lives, our busy lives. Doesn't mean we're fulfilled inside. It just means we're being distracted from working on our inside. And I'm going to be starting my coaching business. And I think people need an accountability partner. They need a coach. They need to hear. They can't just read the words I type out. They need to hear me in front of them. They need to hear me on the phone. They need to hear me in a Zoom session. And I may get 0 people or I may get 100 people. We'll see. And it doesn't have to be people on the border of self-destruction who reach out to me. You can be quite successful, but have pieces missing in your life that make you feel lacking inside, unfulfilled. One of the guys I worked with as an advocate in changing the New Jersey statute of limitations law, Fred Merigliano, he's like, Clark, Fred's in his 70s, and he's like, Clark, I never took the drug and alcohol route for my childhood pain. He goes, but I was a workaholic. He goes, and I was very successful, but I was a workaholic, and that was my distraction, so our pain can manifest in all sorts of ways. So I'm here to guide you if you're ready. I'm here to hold your hand. I'm here to pull you along. I'm here to tell you no in certain areas if you're screwing up. I'm here to encourage you in other areas. People reach out to me and they think I have this magic pixie dust. Clark's got it. Let me get some. I don't really want to do much hard work. And it doesn't work that way. Like getting sober. Like, what do you mean? I got to get sober in order to heal? Like, I didn't know that was going to be part of the deal. Like, all right, I'll give up vodka and tequila. But you're not saying I got to stop my wine, are you? Do you know what it's like working all day and having kids? And I need that glass of wine at the end of the day. You're not telling me I got to... All right, I'll give up alcohol. But there's no way I'm giving up my weed. You're not saying weed also, are you? I need to smoke a joint to relax. Really? No more weed? So those 2 things I use to fight my anxiety. So now my anxiety is going to be sky high if I don't do those 2 things. You're not saying I got to give up my pain pills and my Xanax, are you? Because I need those for my anxiety. It just goes on and on and on. We are weak. We are weak individuals. I was the weakest of individuals. I used every substance known to man, every vice, every addiction. And I got nowhere. And I had to do all of this on my own. So I'm going to make it a little easier for you and tell you you don't have to do it on your own. You can have me as your accountability partner. We'll see how many people want to take me up on it, and how many people, want to do a little hard work on themselves. I ran into, at Quick Check, I ran into this dude who had worked for me when I had a tire retreading shop. He was fresh out of prison. He walked into the shop right off the street, and he was straight up with me, and he said, "Hey man, I just got out of prison. I need a job. I was in there for dealing cocaine." He goes, "I want to leave that life behind and start anew. Will you take a chance with me?" I said, "Yeah, man, absolutely." And I gave him a job, and he became one of my go-to guys. I could ask him to come in early. And he saw me like when I was not the healthiest individual, like I was battling my addictions at the time. And, he saw me in some weak moments. And he was with me till the shop closed, till we shut down the shop. And he follows me on Facebook. I just ran into him getting a coffee the other night. And he told me how he's sober now. And he did it not because he necessarily had a problem, but it was making him lazy. Just drinking after work, relaxing. And he wanted to be motivated and to be the best father he could. And he said alcohol, weed, those were all preventing him from doing that. And he goes, and I'm sober now. And I said, bravo. And then he said, and I watch your videos every morning, and I love them, and they help keep me on the path I'm on. I said, thanks, bro. We had a hug, and we left. I love that, man. The guy turned his life around, He did it. He put in the work. So you're going to have to put in the work to turn your life around, but I'll help encourage you to do so, and I'll be there with you along every step of the way. All right. Have a great day. Peace. Clicker. Nope. Look at this. Now this one's got to go back. Look at this crap. Love it. Unbelievable. Peace.